And now we have a blank screen. This is normal, this is normal. For some reason we are viewing the solar system as the planets circle around the sun, and I can see our planet. It's the one with the 2 moons and it's blue. I love the epilogue music they do. It's just really nice medley of themes from the game, and we have the Mysidian legend again. This time given the Star Trek. Oh my god, I can't believe I don't know if you guys heard that, I just face palmed. The Star Wars treatment. Yep, and a sleeping promise shall awaken. And veiled in the light of eternity, Mother Earth shall be blessed with mercy and salvation. But wait, there's more. The moon has begun to seek its own light. Wait, what? One man, separated from his world by the stream of time, sleeps. I'm not sure who they mean at that point. They might be referring to Cluya, Cecil and Golbez's father. That's my theory, because if the moon is leaving, then all the other Lunarians are going with it, and the only one left behind besides Cecil himself would be Cluya, his spirit being in the over at Mount Ordeals. And the lunar whale is being put to rest since there is no more need to go back to the moon. Yeah, I'm not going to be doing a lot of narrating for this part because the text will be automatically scrolling. But here we have, we got Porum here, and they're learning transfiguration and teleportation. You know, piggy spells, toad spells, and the teleport spell. Palom? Where's Palom? Not again. And then I single-handedly killed the teeming hordes of undead at Mount Ordeals. As you can imagine, I was tired, but there's no need. Wait, what? How old are you, Palom? You're like 8 years old. What is wrong with you guys? Yeah, take that. Get your head out of the gutter. Fire rod. Oh my god, okay, well that was at least funny at the end there, but the setup of that was just like, J2E guys, you were trying way too hard sometimes, but that was pretty funny in hindsight. Oh man, that'll take forever. But he brought it upon himself. But I guess it's business as usual for Palom and Porum. I like how this epilogue is playing out. It's basically showing what happens to the characters after the adventure's over. And Eblauna looks like it's back on its feet got back on its feet pretty quick. Your female companions leave something to be desired. What's wrong with women? I happen to like women. Yeah, I like women too. Oh. Go into convulsions when one bends over to pick something up. Oh, jeez. Poor Edge. But Edge really likes Rydia, though. But I don't see that working out, man. I don't know, I haven't played the After Years, so I don't know how that plays out. And don't spoil it for me in the comments, guys. I'll play it eventually. I have the PSP version, I just haven't gotten around to it yet. And Rydia returned to the land of the summoned monsters, or the Phantom World. I wish I was like you. Yeah, I'm sure a lot of people wish they were like Rydia. We're really not that different. Now I'm getting a little weirded out by Leviathan's wording and his sudden look at Ashura and back to Rydia. The inner beauty is the most important, though. always feels weird when the really beautiful people say stuff like that. It's like, how would you guys know otherwise? And oh wow, Young, he's king of Fabul, and he's really moved up in the world. He hasn't quite changed up his look yet, though. The old king is still wearing the crown. Maybe he's being the new chancellor, I don't know. You make a fine queen. Oh, it's time for trading. Let's go. So let's get those rookies into shape. Fabul has to re-establish its defenses, although the world is peaceful now. So I guess that's just more about maintaining tradition and discipline and all that stuff. And now Damcian is slowly being rebuilt. And I guess Troya is helping out because we have a couple of the clerics from there overseeing the repairs. Fabul, I mean not Fabul, but Eblana looked like it was a little bit further along, but I don't think the throne room ever got destroyed in when you visited the ruined castle before. Sing us a song about the paladin. But there's no more monsters. And that's what the paladin did for us. But yeah, we got real world problems to worry about now, you know? We don't want sickness to happen, and we gotta make sure we have a shelter. So get back to work, kids. Because Damcian approves of child labor. Yep, and he still thinks about Anna, but he's, you know, Edward still Gilbert still has the people of Damcian to worry about. And down in the underworld, Nally Ho! Gotta say that at least one more time before the final episode ends. We don't have enough raw materials to do that, Lally. The tanks! Scrap the tanks! We don't need them! There'll be no more wars! And now just dance instead of work. Oh. A courier from Barrett arrived with these greetings. Sir Cecil is ascending the throne and taking Rosa to be his queen. Oh wow, WoW is right. Yay, Cecil and Rosa, they're actually getting married in this game. You know, you don't really see the, quit lollygagging. You don't see the love interest actually, like, go all the way through with it in the later Final Fantasies. Destroy the tanks. Lally-ho! Yeah, I believe that's the final Lally-ho of the game. Oh, we have Kane. He took his helmet off for a change. Cecil, Rosa, forgive me. Once more, I cannot attend. My actions have shamed the ranks of Dragon Knights everywhere. Mount Ordeal's tested you, Cecil. Now I must test myself. If he wants to see if he can become like Cecil did, redeem himself after all the bad things he did when he was under Golbez's control. And off to this obscure telescope with Corillo over in Agalt. Or Corillo's the one in red. This is terrible, the moon is. What's going on with the moon now? I might have actually spoiled that earlier when I was talking about the planets orbiting the sun. Forgot it didn't quite happen yet. And how is the telescope giving us that view, by the way? Oh well, science. And why are there only 3 planets circling the sun? Where's the rest of the solar system? Oh, and there goes the moon. It's flying away. There it comes. Ah, look out. Whew, that was close. It almost took out the camera. Oh, alright. Oh, they got 2 beds now. Oh, what's going on, Cecil? See, they decorated the room a little bit since last time. What's wrong, Cecil? Nothing. I thought I heard my brother's voice. Oh, okay. I'm just imagining things, probably. Oh, there's Sid. What the? Are the two of you still here? It's a beautiful day and everyone's coming, so hurry up. Sorry about that. Jeez, you'll be able to mess around until you're sick of it later. Go on now, Rosa. No, I mean, Your Majesty. No, just call me Rosa. Yeah, Sid, Come on, Sid, you know us better than that. It's you that's holding us up the show, so come on, hurry up already. So they gotta have their wedding now. I guess a lot of time has passed since the final battle with Zeromus. I'm going to assume it's been roughly a year or so over the course of those cutscenes. I did hear it. I'm sure of it. My brother's voice. He said, goodbye. Yep, the moon flew away off somewhere else. The Lunarians decided they weren't going to watch over the blue planet anymore. Oop, and there's Edge. Did his pass-through walls technique to enter the room. It's like, stop hitting on the future queen. Or maybe she's already the queen now. Oh, there's King Giot and Luca. Well, he had to... Oh, and he had a couple words to say to, he had to pull Luca away from Cecil. And here comes Young. Exchanging bows. His Fabul custom. Oh, and Palmaporum. Like, who let those kids come in unattended? Wow, that's quite an arm you have there, Porum. You just swung in air and you still hit him in the head. Your powers have increased so much since you've been in our party. Ah, jeez. Porum. And we got Gilbert. Of course we invited Gilbert. Sorry about the whole thing about killing off the last antlion, by the way. I hope nobody gets the sand ruby, or needs the light of the desert. Desert fever, I mean. And hi, Rydia! It's great to see you, Rydia. Oh yeah, and I just like, oh yeah, hey Rydia, how's it going? And here we go. And everybody, fist pump for the win! We saved the world! And they lived happily ever after. Until the after years, I guess. Again, I still haven't played it. But that was Final Fantasy IV. I hope you guys enjoyed it. It's one of my personal favorites in the series. Ranks in my top 3 easily enough. Yeah, thank you very much, Hironobu Sakaguchi, Nobu Uematsu, and the whole development team. Yoshitaka Amano for the illustrations and the character designs. This game it's one of my personal favorites in the series. Ranks really high up there. There were a lot of things about it that wouldn't really fly if they made it new today, but back then it did a lot of things that really broke some new ground. I mean, you started the game off as essentially working for the bad guys. That was something that never really happened much in video games back in the late 80s, early 90s, around when Super Nintendo was first going around, just starting up. I mean, you started off as a Dark Knight. I mean, not that characters dying was a new thing in the game, but I mean, you had party members that you thought were dead, only to find out that they survived later on. I mean, that scale of characters falling in battle over the course of the events, that's something new. At least I think it is. But yeah, it was just, they did a lot of things. I mean, I kind of wish I would have did a counter for the deaths and whatnot, and a counter that would go up as the characters die, in quotations, and then it would go down, back down when we find out that, oh, they survived after all. So like all the named characters, like most of them would be like bad guys like Bagan and Dr. Luigi or whatever his name is. Okay, so we had about like 4 different translators for this version. I wonder which one of them did all the lines for Rydia. Wonder if it's the one that called herself Rydia. But anyway, but yeah, I should have did like a counter or something. Just had it ding or something every time somebody died. Well, I guess that would have been inappropriate. Maybe it dinged when we found out they survived, actually. But yeah, this has been a great project. I've really enjoyed it. It was one of my, ever heard of J2E? You will feel like an idiot once you do. Okay. Thanks a lot, guys. But yeah, this is one of my favorite. I felt like this was one of my better Let's Plays as a whole. I mean, I used a new microphone for this one. The first episode is the first time using it, and it's just, my commentary improved quite a bit over the course of it, and it was like around the somewhere in the 30s. I think my commentary just had a sudden spike in quality for a lot of the episodes, and I really felt like I was really putting out a quality performance for you guys. I was getting my details right. I was keeping things interesting. I was projecting a lot more energy in my commentary and everything. But yeah, it was just, there's a lot of things that this game did right. I mean, there's limitations in the technology and everything. I mean, the reason why so many characters died, or in quotations, over the course of it was simply because you were restricted on how many party members you could have, and I guess they didn't want to give a different reason for setting up your party a certain way. I mean, Sid decides to jump off an airship to blow up and seal up a hole just so you can get Edge, just when you go visit the Cave of Adalana. I mean, they couldn't think of a different reason for that, apparently. I always got the impression that, or at least as I was playing the Let's Play this time, and I really started thinking about it, I started wondering, why didn't King Giat just give you a dwarven party member to, not that you had any space in your party for it, but why didn't they consider giving you a dwarf party member? But then I realized it would have been exactly the same as what Sid was, basically. And that made me start thinking that maybe Sid was originally intended to be like a dwarven character, or maybe he was a part dwarf, like he's originally from a Galt, that city or that village that had the descendants of the dwarves over by that mountain where you entered the underworld from. I thought that would have been a nice touch if they would have included something like that, he was he moved to Baron years ago or something like that from there. And that could have offered, they could have expanded on that, maybe even given Carrillo, that astronomer there, they could have given him a little bit more relevance than is just this one little clip in the very end of the game where you see that the moon is leaving through the telescope. I thought that would have been nice, because essentially, Sid practically looks like he's a dwarf anyway. He's got that massive beard and fights with hammer-type weapons. You could just switch that out for an axe, and he's pretty much a combination of the Viking and the Scholar job classes from Final Fantasy III, because he has the peep ability too. And I thought that would have been a nice touch. But yeah, I mean, this is a solid game. It's got some of my favorite music in the game. Theme of Love is one of my all-time favorites in the entire series. And, Battle with the Four Fiends, that one ranks really high in my list of battle themes. It's almost on the same level as Clash on the Big Bridge for me. So, I mean, I really enjoy that one. I've been listening to the orchestrated version of that a lot since I went to the Distant Worlds concert back in December. So that's great. And I even incorporated that in that episode when I was fighting the Four Fiends at the same time. I decided to stick in that audio there. I thought that would be a nice touch. It kind of wasn't quite long enough for the whole battle, so I stuck in that little blip of the normal battle theme from the same Final Fantasy orchestral album. there was a big medley of battle themes, and they put in the boss theme from Final Fantasy IV to represent Final Fantasy IV, so I spliced that in there just to like make it long enough to really cover the rest of the battle. I hope you guys enjoyed that. That episode hasn't been uploaded yet as I'm recording this. But yeah, this game had a lot of great locations. I loved the effects of the underworld, and the moon had, they could have done more with it, but again, it's also just the moon. It's mostly just craters and landscapes. Most of that space you never even have to set foot on. I guess you could say that about a lot of world maps in these kind of RPGs. But I mean, I like the concept of Troya, even though I don't think the execution was quite there, because it basically was a kingdom governed by women as envisioned by middle-aged Japanese men, basically. And I'm pretty sure if such a place actually existed, it wouldn't be like that. It certainly wouldn't have like that kind of a strip club, cafe type place, that's for sure. Unless it was like all guys or something instead. They would have had the dancer from Fabul there instead, right? I like Mysidia. The music, and just the fact that you have just a village that's just populated by magicians, by mages. It was pretty integral to a lot of the story too. I mean, that's where the legend came from. You had to go there to get the lunar whale, the magical ship lunar whale. Depending on which translation you're playing. This game has some of my favorite characters from the series. I liked Cecil as the main character, even though I feel like he lost a little something after he became a paladin. Like, it was all about redeeming himself and confronting his own darkness when he was the Dark Knight, but then he became a paladin, and that all got wiped away, and it seemed like a good chunk of his development went with it, so he wasn't really a focal point. He was basically just the head of the party for a long time. I mean, they hinted at Golbez being his brother a couple times. They had that moment when, after Tella used his Meteor spell, where Golbez was going to kill Cecil, but then he stopped because the mind control was wavering, and he wasn't sure what was going on, so he retreated. And that was like a big question mark. What's going on with Golbez there? Why is his head hurt all of a sudden? He got hit by a stray meteor or something. But I mean, Cecil, he's one of my favorite lead characters in the series. And he gets a little bit more development towards the end when we realize he's part Lunarian. But still, I feel like they could have done just a little bit more with him over the course of the game, instead of having that big open gap. I like Rydia too. Rydia is one of my favorite female characters in the series. I mean, she has a unique style compared to a lot of the other female characters. The strictly green outfit and the green hair, and she's pretty much the first dedicated summoner character that isn't like a job class, like in Final Fantasy III. So that's nice. When you think summoners, you usually think Rydia first if you're from my generation. If you played the Super Nintendo games first, you usually think Rydia first when you think summoners, instead of like Garnet or Yuna. A lot of the characters, I like this version of Sid. He's a blast. I liked my voice for him too. I thought, and when I finally got that gruff sound down, I thought that was good. I felt like I really nailed his personality there. I liked some of my other voices too. I liked Rubicante, both as a character. I wish the Four Fiends had gotten a little more like development. Like if they had like more active roles in like commanding Golbez's forces, other monsters. I mean, Scarmiglian had his undead zombies on Mount Ordeals, but then you wiped him out and it was like, okay. Then the rest of the time it's like, Cagnazzo was impersonating the King of Baron, so I mean, he had some, his presence was there in the very beginning of the game, even though he didn't quite realize it at the time. In Rubicante, I mean, you see him in multiple scenes, which is something that didn't really happen with the other Fiends, at least until the rematch. I liked my voice for Rubicante too. That was kind of a spur of the moment kind of thing, and it just played out pretty well. I tried to be as consistent with it as I could. Yeah, a lot of my voices fluctuated over the course of this. If I don't use a character long enough, or if I had too long of a gap between episodes, I might not get the voice quite the same. was something I was working on. I'd try to watch previous episodes before recording if possible, but it doesn't always play out as well as I'd like. But yeah, that was Final Fantasy IV. Thank you guys for watching this, and those of you who subscribed during the course of this LP, thank you very much for that. I really appreciate it. I'd like to thank, I already did technically, but I'd like to thank, Hironobu Sakaguchi for directing the game, and being, Nobuo Uematsu for the soundtrack. One of my favorites, even if the audio quality wasn't quite up to, they hadn't quite figured out the best audio quality for the series yet, like they did with like Final Fantasy V and VI. But the melodies and everything were solid, and I really liked a lot of them. The whole soundtrack is solid, really. All too short, though. But yeah, and just the entire Final Fantasy IV staff I'd like to thank for making this great game. It's one of the best games I've ever played, to be perfectly honest. I'd like to thank J2E Translations for doing this translation of the game, and everybody involved. I guess there's a lot more people involved in that staff than I realized when I was looking at the credits. They make it sound like it's just like a couple of guys or something doing it, but I guess they had like a whole little mini network of people there. So that's pretty cool, actually, that they were able to do that. I wish they would have toned down the pop culture references a little bit, breaking the fourth wall when the fourth wall didn't need to be broken, unlike in the development room. But, they did a pretty solid job. It was better than the original Super Nintendo translation, because they didn't have to worry about the censorship and all the restrictions. I mean, like the cleaver knife that you get from Young's wife, that was translated as a spoon in the original Super Nintendo version of Final Fantasy II, which is pretty funny when you actually think about it. It does the most powerful throwing weapon in the entire game, that causes 9,999 points of damage, and it's a spoon. So that's pretty hilarious, actually. I'd like to thank H.C. Bailey for doing his Let's Play of this previously. It was big help. I watched that and got a lot of battle strategies and some of the information that I relayed in this translation from that. And, I just enjoy his Let's Plays in general. He's probably my favorite Let's Player. So, so thank you very much, H.C. Bailey, for that. And keep on doing what you do. Yeah, I'd like to thank OA and Dragon Avenger and everybody that worked on the Final Fantasy IV Overclocked remix album, Echoes of Betrayal, Light of Redemption, for making such a solid remix, fan arrangement album. It was a great album. I really enjoyed it. Thanks for being supportive of letting me use your tracks for my little recaps or replacing the music from a couple of the dancers. Those little things that help make my Let's Play a little bit more unique from everyone else. So thank you for being supportive of that and being okay with that. I really appreciate that. Thank you very much, guys. And I already thanked the subscribers and viewers, but I'll thank you guys again because you guys are why I'm doing this sort of thing. I think that's pretty much it, actually. I don't know exactly what my next project's going to be. I'm going to try to do one or two more platformer style games next, I'm thinking. I haven't quite solidly decided on what my next RPG will be. I have some ideas, but I'm trying to decide how doable they are and how much enjoyment I think people will get out of watching them. Because just because I like a game doesn't necessarily mean it's good for a Let's Play. But I'm thinking about it, and I'll have a project down the road soon enough. But in the meantime, I'll have a couple platformers out sooner or later. I might have one going Tuesdays and Thursdays while this Let's Play is still going, depending on how quickly I get the first one out. So that's something to look forward to down the road. Alright guys, I think that's pretty much it for me. So, this has been Fenix Down. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys in the next project.